Okay, so imagine this. It's early spring, it's super windy, but you are just chomping at the bit to get your first big striped bass. The only problem is it's windy as sh*. Other than that, you know there's bait around and you know those big fish are not too far away. What lure are you gonna pull out of your bag that's gonna get those fish in that dirty water? Let's talk about the lure you can use to catch your first big striped bass in 2018. About this time last year, I posted a video called Top 3 Lures You Can Use to Catch Your First Striped Bass in 2017. This is kind of a follow-up to that. Maybe you've tried out some of those lures and you found that, yeah, they catch fish, but they don't necessarily generate the big bites that you're looking for. Now, I've talked about this lure before, and the lure that you can use to catch your first big striped bass of the season is the Super Strike Popper, specifically in the herring colorway. Also, we're talking about the Black Eye model, which is the sinking model. Now, there's a few reasons why I like this lure so much, specifically in the high wind, dirty water, rough surf kind of situation. First of all, the thing is heavy. It really punches through the wind when honestly nothing else will. Now you might say, well, a pencil popper could do the same thing, right? Well, the problem with pencil poppers is that generally when I'm on the open beach, I'm going to be fishing a floating model. Yeah, they still cast well, but the thing is, in a high wind situation, a pencil popper dancing back and forth on the surface of the water is going to get swept by the bow of your line. The wind is just going to take your line, put a huge bow in it, it's going to cause the pencil popper to just kind of skate on the surface without much action. Now, when you really lay into a cast with the Super Strike Popper, that thing hits the water with a lot of force. It is a heavy lure, and because it sinks, it really dives deep into the water when it first hits. By the time you reel up the slack and get tight with the popper, the cupped face of it has already kind of created a lot of drag through the water as you're retrieving it. So your line's pretty tight with the popper by the time you make contact with it, and there's not as much bow in the line as there would be with a different lure like a pencil popper. The other thing I really like about this lure is that it's so durable. I've been fishing the same lure for about 2 seasons now, and it still catches fish like the day it came out of the package. Perhaps the most important reason why I like this lure so much is the fact that it really can accurately match a herring. Where I'm fishing, the bass can get super keyed in on the herring in the early spring when they're making their initial runs. When the herring are on the open beach, that is what the big bass are going to be eating. Now, a Super Strike Popper in either the herring or the white colorway are excellent for imitating herring, especially when you throw a single dressed hook on the back. The dressed single hook really gives the lure a much longer profile in the water. It really looks long and skinny like a herring. The fact that this is a topwater bait is also a huge advantage in that rough surf. I think the fish have a much easier time finding a bait that's popping actively on the surface than any other subsurface lure you can use in rough surf, like a bucktail or an SP minnow or other plugs like that. So guys, those are a few of the reasons why I like the Super Strike Popper so much. It's a heavy bait that punches through the wind and also gets the attention of big fish. That's it for this video. If you liked it, consider subscribing and giving it a like and also leaving a comment down below. I know it's February right now, but spring's right around the corner, so when the herring start running, give the Super Strike Popper a shot.